Channel 6 was born on this day, December 23rd, 1961, when it became one of the first regional stations in Australia to go on air and captivate the imagination and expectations of thousands of people, young and old alike. This followed the initial Metropolitan switch-on in 1956, specifically for the Melbourne Olympic Games held in that year. Many months of planning and sheer hard work went on prior to the official launch on December 23rd in 1961, with only a handful of dedicated staff. GMV was formed by Associated Broadcasting Services, the operators of radio station 3SR in Shepparton, along with its other regional broadcasting interests. It was a new and bold challenge. One of the first employees and the driving force responsible for GMV and much of its early planning was Peter Toomey, who was chief engineer when the channel went on air 25 years ago.
GMV6 was the brainchild of Mr. Sid Kemp, who was then managing director of Associated Broadcasting, and he was responsible for obtaining the license in 1960. Mr. Murray Klein did a lot of work locally to find a site for our studios, here, which are now here in Wyndham Street, and a transmitter up at Mount Major. And then I joined the company as the first chief engineer in January 1961, and with Mr. Ron Williams, who was the manager, we got the station established and on the air, all going by December the 23rd, 1961. In those days, we didn't have videotape machine, and as such, everything was live except the film content, but local commercials were live. We had a GMV Junior program hosted by Nancy Cato, which was we were the first in that field in regional television. We also, in 1963, we had the first regional teenage program. Many remember a Casual Club compared by David Bryce and Gloria O'Brien. Then, of course, with technology changes, 1964, we got our first videotape machine. And those were very exciting times.
Mr. Toomey later went on to become general manager of GMV6 and is still with the company today in the capacity of general manager technical services for ABS. Proudly during the years, he's seen his creation transferred into a living, thriving and sophisticated electronic adult. As Channel 6 and its viewing area grew and advanced, local news has been responsible for reporting all facets of life in the coverage area, from the seemingly mundane to the top stories of the day, all of which are vital in the community interests. 25 years ago, thousands of viewers will still remember a 5-minute bulletin with very little vision. Today, that's been transformed to a 30-minute bulletin featuring stories from all corners of the vast viewing area. This parade through the streets of Shepparton in 1964 demonstrates the changes to our vehicles and later, as time moved on, to the rapidly changing face of the city itself. This promotion was to encourage people to wear seatbelts as the radical new law had just been passed. It proved a milestone in motoring history, subsequently saving thousands of lives on our roads. Sir John McEwen was the federal member for Murray. Sir John was a familiar and popular figure, not only in this area, but right throughout Australia. He became affectionately known as Black Jack McEwen and was one of Australia's brilliant political minds. He was later to become Prime Minister for a brief period, following the drowning of Harold Holt at Cheviot Beach near Portsea. Channel 6 recorded one of the last television interviews with the late Prime Minister Holt just days prior to his tragic death. Ironically, interviewer Colin Lehman spoke to Mr. Holt about his spearfishing interests. The sea he loved was soon to claim his life.
Finally, sir, just on the lighter side of things, when the elections are over one way or the other, how soon do you expect to get back to the spearfishing?
Oh, I'll be trying to as soon as I can. Indeed, I've got in my mind the aspiration that sometime on Sunday, assuming I can get away from Melbourne, I shall be taking a few hours down the bay, and if it's as warm a day as this, then that might provide the opportunity.
The early 60s was the era of colourful politicians. Henry Bolte, Premier of Victoria and later knighted, was a regular visitor to our viewing area. He went on to become Victoria's longest-serving Premier. At Wangaratta, for instance, he officially opened the new extensions to Bruck Mills.
I've looked forward to this day. I wanted to get out of the city every day of the week, if that's possible, but more particularly to come to Wangaratta and join with you in this very happy occasion. And believe you me, we're all interested and we're all happy to see the success of your enterprise. Now, sir, may I formally and officially declare this new section open.
GMV has aged in its 25-year history, so too have many of its citizens who play active roles in community affairs. Long-time councillor Murray Slee talking on a Back To planned for Shepparton.
Well, I guess you're having a very nice time in the middle of your holidays. I certainly hope that's true. And we'd just like to remind any out-of-town visitors to Shepparton that from February the 27th till Monday the 13th of March, they're holding a Back To Shepparton. Now, I have with me Councillor Murray Slee, who is chairman of the Back To Shepparton committee. Well, what's the idea, first of all, of having a Back To, Mr. Slee?
Well, it's felt, Colin, that some 40-odd years since the last Back To Shepparton. I think it was in 1923, so that's 44 years ago, there was a Back To Shepparton, and it's felt that it was time for us to have another one. And we feel that it's an opportunity to old Sheppartonians to come back and to meet old acquaintances and to renew and make new acquaintances.
Councillor Slee still serves on the Shepparton City Council and, like many others, has made a valuable contribution to our way of life. In the late 60s, Peter Ross Edwards was first elected to the state seat of Shepparton. After winning the seat, he quickly went on to become leader of the Country Party, now known as the National Party.
It's been a hard 4 weeks. I'm very thrilled at being re-elected, and particularly in the fact that we gained a large increase in primary vote, and in addition to the fact that many people transferred their second preferences to the Country Party.
A shock bomb blast in Shepparton in December 1968 demolished a large part of Maud Street. Reporter Jason Davis, later to make his name in Capital City Television, was soon on the scene, bringing these news reports to anxious GMV viewers.
A picture of utter devastation in Maud Street, Shepparton, with a mystery as yet unsolved. I've just spoken to Superintendent Sheether of the Shepparton Police, and he tells me that as far as they can tell, there's no suspicious things found, although there are certainly suspicious circumstances. David, to what extent was your shop damaged? Your shop, I understand, is directly opposite.
Well, all the windows were broken, every bit of glass in the place was broken, and there's a lot of stock damaged by flying glass and other flying objects.
What sort of stock do you have in there?
Electrical goods.
Mr. Rochella, how much damage do you think you've sustained here?
Roughly, I would say about $15,000 to $20,000.
I see. And what was the first you heard of the explosion?
We heard the explosion at 2:30 this morning.
You heard about it?
Yes. And somebody called us about 10 minutes after, and we come, my brother and I, we come straight here to have a look what was happening.
This is Mr. Tom Giuliano. He has the hairdresser shop next door to the devastated shop. Mr. Giuliano, how much damage do you think has been done to your shop?
Well, can't work up yet. How much that is? The only thing I can tell you is everything's down.
Everything's gone?
Everything's gone. I got nothing to say because of the build-up. I think they have to pull down.
They're going to have to pull the whole building down?
I think so, because it's cracked all over the place, and the crack upstairs, cracking underneath the shop.
More news will be following on this report, and I return you now to the studio.
Timbertop near Mansfield certainly has its claim to fame. It was chosen by the royal family as the home for Prince Charles during his school years here in Australia, the early education for our future monarch. And it seemed only fitting he revisit Timbertop with his sister Princess Anne during a visit to Australia in 1969. The young prince was a familiar sight in Mansfield and district during his stay here, and he made many valuable lifelong friends. Indeed, his return visit was a great occasion for both Timbertop and Mansfield residents. Another English visitor to attract plenty of attention in 1969 in the Northeast was Mick Jagger, who played the lead role in a Ned Kelly film. The world focused on the tiny township of Glenrowan as Jagger launched his film career. Although a stick of Janignite delayed the premiere, nevertheless, patrons were full of praise for the feature film. Channel 6 was there, and reporter Jason Davis spoke to some of the many celebrities.
Here in the heart of Kelly country, the lounge bar of the Glenrowan Hotel, the people that have just seen the film starring Mick Jagger. Madam, I wonder if you'd tell me what you thought of the film.
Well, I really did enjoy it. I went in with a very open mind, and hearing quite a lot about Mick Jagger, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought he acted very well indeed. Scenery was wonderful. Perhaps the theme might have been a little poor at first, but I think he grew on everybody as the film went along.
What did you think of the film?
I was most impressed. I thought the photography was wonderful.
Excuse me, sir, what did you think of the film?
I walked out.
Why did you walk out?
I was bored.
Very good, and the photography and the supporting actors were very good too.
And your husband, what did you think?
I thought the scenery was good. A lot of the support artists and actors in it were good, but Mick Jagger was a bit weak.
Excuse me, Mike, I hate to butt in, but I know you've seen the film already. Could you tell us what you thought of it?
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's going to be a pretty big success in Australia.
Wendy, what did you think of the film tonight?
Oh, I thought it was marvellous.
Now, I know you're a Mick Jagger fan. Did that influence you in any way?
No, I went into it with an open viewpoint, and I was very, very impressed. I think he'll make a very good actor.
Around the same time, the road toll was still giving growing cause for concern, so Shepparton people gave their opinion of young drivers to reporter Russell Goodrick.
Excuse me, sir, do you think the minimum driving age should be reduced?
Should be increased, not reduced.
What to?
Oh, to 19 or 20.
Excuse me, sir, do you think the minimum driving age in Victoria should be reduced?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Wouldn't be sure.
Oh, I haven't really thought about it.
Thank you.
No, why?
Well, I think the driving age should be around about the age of 21, mainly because most of the young kids nowadays, they don't know really how to drive.
So far, we've endeavoured to show some of the many events covered in and around Shepparton in the 60s and early 70s and try and recapture the mood of the times. But one event probably overshadowed most others, the devastating floods which inundated Shepparton in May 1974. Reportedly the biggest flood in more than 100 years, nothing was spared as the water spread across the city and countryside, creating havoc and in many cases despair. Channel 6 was only one of many buildings ending up with very wet feet. It took days of long, arduous work and effort before life in the city returned to normal. Even today, those scars are not forgotten, but lessons are learned by hardship. As a result of the flood, the building regulations were amended to raise the building floor level above the water level of 1974. The first voice heard on Channel 6 was that of Jim Lilburn. The voice wasn't that of a stranger, as he already was well known on radio station 3SR. Today, Jim Lilburn lives in Albury and conducts his own business.
Being in radio, it was a nice, secure position, and virtually it was about the only media that the people had available for entertainment, including night, you know, with all the serials and so forth. And then when the position came available at Channel 6 when they first opened up, you know, you sort of wondered, firstly, you know, can we accomplish what we're trying to do? And all the trials and pressures and so forth, that, yes, there was a gamble. The only media that we had available was film, and of course there was no video, and there was no relay facilities, you know, whatsoever. I mean, we had to compile our own news entirely, and that also incorporated any sporting events
VFL football. We used to replay it on the Sunday night. Of course, it was only available on film, but we had to, you know, replay the highlights of the VFL. I think it was 6 o'clock on Sunday night, whereas now it's, of course, it's instantaneous.
For the 25s and over, mention Channel 6 and Nancy Cato and David Bryce, and you'll soon discover those names synonymous with the station. Both spent several years at GMV and were the station's stars in the early days. Today they live in Sydney, and before this interview they were unaware that both lived in the harbour city.
Hello, Shepparton. In case we haven't been introduced.
I'm Nancy Cato.
And I'm David Bryce, which takes us back 25 years.
Oh, goodness me, does it ever.
Now, they asked us to say where we were working and what we've been doing since the last 25 years. Let's talk about what we did in the first year that we were at Channel 6.
The first year in GMV6 I remember very clearly was GMV6 Juniors to me, and Joey the Clown and all those wonderful kids on hay bales and saying embarrassing things like, have you got any babies? Why not? I'm not married. Neither was my sister.
My first year at Channel 6 was after coming from 3SR in Shepparton, where I was the breakfast announcer at that stage. I was going to go to Melbourne, I remember, and Neville Pellett, who was then the studio manager, came round and woke me up at about 7 in the morning and said, before you go to Melbourne, we'd like you to talk to Channel 6. And I was the relief newsreader, and then I came on to be a permanent newsreader and introduced Casual Club, which some people may remember.
Casual Club and Gloria?
Gloria.
Wasn't she lovely?
And Lucky Star, Cold Joy, all the people at Deltones. And
what a wonderful opportunity we had in those days to do all sorts of interesting new things.
Live?
Yes.
Literally live?
Absolutely live.
You read the news, didn't you?
I did once. Only because you were not there for some reason or other.
Well, I was once called Uncle David. It hasn't happened very often since.
I do remember somebody got under the chair and tickled my feet. I always thought it was you, was it?
Not me, but we used to subsidise our income at Channel 6 in many ways. I used to work on radio as well, and so did you. Did a party time thing for a while there,
yes,
too.
I did. I really enjoyed that. Radio was a bit frightening for me, because in television you can use eyes and teeth or whatever you happen to have.
Still use it in radio. Oh, yes, sure, absolutely. We also used to sing live at the Victoria Hotel in Wyndham Street, Shepparton.
I promised you wouldn't say things like, well, I'll tell what you did to me in the Fairlies commercials.
We used to mime records live.
Yes, we did.
I mean, like every Saturday night. And the income we got from there was almost more than the salary of 2 weeks.
I've taken singing lessons since.
And you've done very well, by the way.
Shepparton, we love you dearly for all those wonderful experiences. But what have you been doing for the last 25 years?
The last 25 years. I left Shepparton and went from Shepparton to Canberra, where I worked as the senior newsreader there, then to Channel 9 in Sydney, where I worked again on some teenage programs as well as reading the news with Brian Henderson at that stage. And from there to BBC One in London for a little while to study teenage programs and news reading and to do a thing called Ready, Steady, Go for a few episodes. And from there back to Canberra, got into the film industry, made some movies and things, went to Los Angeles about 15 years ago at the behest of Columbia Pictures and produced films there. And now I'm into real estate, and I'm producing, if you want to use that word, a luxury hotel here in Sydney right next to the Sydney Opera House.
Wouldn't you know? I always knew he'd be the one to end up with all the money and I'd be the one to end up with all the kids.
Yes, but they're beautiful children, aren't they?
They are indeed.
Now, you've been doing what?
Having 4 children.
Yeah, but besides that, you've got some interesting things.
Yes, I went from GMV6 to Channel O in Melbourne, what was Channel O then, to do the Magic Circle Club and then Adventure Island on the ABC. Then I was married and studied children's television at London University and then had my own children's theatre. Then my husband and I moved to the country to work for the Schools Commission with isolated children, with drama programs and radio programs and so forth.
You can tell we're in Sydney. With due respect to Sydney.
The Flyers, yes.
We're at Lady Macquarie's seat or chair.
We could have been anywhere on the Murray, couldn't we, really?
We really could have been. And ever since we've arrived here, there have been Japanese tourists running around with little Nikon cameras taking shots, thinking we're important, which of course we're not, but they like to take shots anyway.
I was in the middle of my life story.
Excuse me.
He always did this to me. Just because
we're up to the strip part.
6 feet tall. We went to Alice Springs then and we worked with the Aboriginal children and we built an arts centre there. And now we're here with our own arts consultancy in Sydney and I'm writing television scripts for children and I'm a playwright. I had a play performed at the Edinburgh Festival last year.
Is that right? Are you settled in Sydney now?
But I did not write All the Rivers Run. That was my cousin.
But everyone says it's you, so I give you credit.
Do you?
Yes, I do. They say Nancy Cato, she wrote that book.
I wish I'd get the royalties. No, that was my cousin.
25 years. We don't feel like it's 25 years, do we?
No, we don't. And I guess we're much the same as you knew us. I hope we are, because Shepparton was very dear to us. I think I can speak for you as well.
Absolutely.
It gave us a tremendous sense of home and also professional experience, which we couldn't have gained anywhere else.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, because the live atmosphere of television in those days gave us experiences that people these days don't get, because you lit your own sets, you produced your own programs, you assisted with direction, you brought the people in for the live shows, and things went wrong, which if they're on tape these days will be in the bloopers, undoubtedly. But they were a lot of fun, great experience, and there was a generous warmth about the people of Shepparton that certainly carried through.
It was a family, and we love you for it.
The versatility of David Bryce was unquestionable, as evidenced by the many functions he was called on to attend.
Good evening, everyone. Just before Grindle, we thought we'd show you a few of the stands at the 1964 Shepparton show. And one of the favourites undoubtedly will be Desi's TV service stand. This is Ken. Hello, Ken.
Hello, David.
Tell us, what have you got in the stand this year?
We have quite a lot of new products on the range, David, starting off with the Pope two-door refrigerator.
Perhaps we could have a bit of a talk about the Pope.
Yes, okay.
Let's open it up. Now, what size unit is this?
This is a 14, David, two-door.
Now, how about the top?
It has the largest freezing compartment of any two-door refrigerator on the market.
What's the usual size of a two-door freezing compartment?
Around about the 105 pounds, David.
And what about this one?
This one is 115.
Beauty. I noticed it's got a special section there, too, for ice blocks, and plenty of room there for ice cream.
Yes, plenty of room, David, that's for sure.
Now, underneath?
Underneath, we have a roll-out shelf, which will stand a pressure of 60 pounds.
It's a beauty. Take 60 pounds
it's a beauty, David.
Continuing our wander around the stands at the 1964 Shepparton show, we come to the Promotoys stand. How's Mr. Russell?
Very well, thanks, David.
Much trouble involved in setting it up?
Yes, quite a lot. It takes us a long time, but fortunately we've got the services of a steelcraft man here, which has been very, very good. This is John Gray, David Bride.
How are you,
Hello,
John?
David. I'm pleased to meet you. Tell you all about the steelcraft range.
Fine, let's have a look at it. What have we got first, John?
I'd like to show you our steelcraft Electra. One-hand instant folding action on this one to suit the ladies. It's quite a simple action by raising the hood and letting the handle go.
I believe truly this happens every night at the Wangaratta Big Family Fun Fair run by the JCs. Look, we have a lass here in black tights and a pink outfit. Cup of tea. Look at this, even a sugar girl. I have three in mind, thank you very much. One. That'll do nicely, thank you. It's Friday night, it's 9:30, we're at the Wangaratta Big Family Fun Fair, and there's many, many hundreds of people around too. Why? To find out who has won the AWA Transistor Portable Radio, because they've all filled out their forms, which have the different artists on one side and programs on Channel 6 on the other, and they've matched them up to see which is with which. The winner is the one who successfully done so when drawn out of this Channel 6 flag, which has been more specially down just for this particular drawing. Here's what they can win. Isn't it smart? An AWA Radiola Transistor Portable. Well, it's a very good afternoon to viewers through Channel 6 and Women's Magazine, and hello, too, to all the people situated here in the Wangaratta Small Town Hall for the Northeastern Coast Store's Big Fashion Parade. Our first model is Marilyn, and as you can see, that's a purple, a check bikini featuring white pleated ballerina skirt. That's very, very smart, isn't it? It has a white Italian straw hat. That, of course, is Marilyn. I won't refer to you as an it Marilyn anymore, I promise. Marilyn has a white Italian straw hat, which is fringed, and the price is just £6.19 11. Let's meet Nola again. Isn't this a stunning outfit? A burnt orange silk skimmer. I don't know. I've given up now. New low neckline and rows of white daisy motifs outline the neck and sleeves. This is nice. It's by Susan Peters, with a daisy flowered hat to match with daisies trailed at the back.
Len Winter was next to make his mark, working with both Nancy Cato and David Bryce. He was again extremely versatile, fulfilling a wide range of duties. Len, now in Melbourne, left the television industry after making his mark with Channel 6 viewers.
Hello there, boys and girls. Well, now we're going to meet Yogi Bear. And here comes Joey with him right now. Hello there, Joe.
Whoa there, hold it, Silver. Here's Yogi
Bring him up
Bear.
here. Bring him up here, Joe.
come up here and meet all
Just
the
they
boys
look in
and
fine
girls,
condition,
Yogi.
Joe.
Oh, my goodness. Say hello to the boys and girls, Yogi.
Did he say hello?
Of course. Didn't you hear
that's
him?
good. Listen, how about we turn him around, we'll measure his girth, Joe?
Oh, yes. All right, then. Have you got the tape measure?
Yes, I have. Here it is.
Here we go. You turn him round, Len. Righto. Oh, look, he's being difficult. That's better. Now, I'll put the tape round here like this. And... Whoa, oh, whoa. Here we go.
Have you got the measurement, Joe?
I've got the measurement, Len, and the measurement is... And the measurement is 56 inches.
Well, boys and girls, we've got the measurement now of Yogi Bear's girth. Can you guess what the measurement is?
Well, in the early days, there was a lot had to be done yourselves. You had very little resources there. For example, the kids' show was never scripted. It was just a running sheet, and Wally McQuaker, who played Joe the Clown, he and I had to ad-lib the entire program. And we'd make up things, jokes about the Peter's ice cream commercial and the birthday segment. So it really put a lot on your own resources. Live presentation, ad-libbing was something I hadn't done before, so that's a side of me which I had to develop and develop very quickly. When I left Shepparton, I came down to Melbourne. I worked in the travel industry, and I'm still in the travel industry. I had big hopes of cracking Melbourne television, but it didn't work out that way. So I've turned my activities socially to amateur theatre, and I've been acting and directing in amateur theatre since I have left Shepparton, and I'm still doing that.
Evening, everyone. Whilst you're watching your Sunday evening entertainment, we're here in the Wangaratta Town Hall at the JC's Family Fun Fair, and we are going to conduct now the drawing of the Saturday night competition for our program contest that we've been running over the 3 days here at our GMV6 stand. And with me I have Marilyn Price, who is going to be diving deep down here, aren't you, Marilyn, to dig out a lucky contest winner. And we're surrounded here by hundreds of people. Alan, if you do one of your famous pans and show us all these hundreds of people who are very, very anxious to find out if they've won the AWA Transistor Portable that we are giving away tonight to the lucky winner. How's he going there? Oh, marvellous Cecil Beattie pan this is. Terrific. He's very good on these pans.
Well-loved station character was Joey the Clown. Joey worked with everyone, creating many amusing skits and proving a firm favourite with viewers and staff alike. Wally McQuaker, who played Joey, continued with the channel until 1969. He now lives quietly in Coffs Harbour, but the memories of Channel 6 live on.
Well, I was on my way home from a country tour where I was employed as a country singer and comedian, and heading home to Queensland after the end of the tour in South Australia. I had a friend in Shepparton who worked at 3SR, the radio station there, Neville Pellet, and he was doing a spot on Channel 6 at the time called The Misadventures, where he would work up some crazy situation each week, and he asked me to join him. So the program was called The Misadventures of Neville and Wally. Nancy Cato was the compere of the show, and they thought that she just needed someone to help her along, to a fall guy for her, and they asked me if I would dress as a clown and be the character. So put on the red nose and the lipstick and that type of thing, and a wig and pointy hat, coloured clothes, and Joey the Clown was born as a character in the GMV Junior show, supposedly once a week to lift the show. And the first week, well, I did 5 nights, and after that it was 5 nights a week in the live production. Well, I find the highlights were the live appearances that Joey made, along with Nancy Cato and the other compares of the show and personalities of the station. We would go out to places like Albury, where they didn't have a television station in those days. We even went to Bendigo, where they did have, but we used to get into a certain part of the area. And Albury, Wodonga, Wangaratta, Benalla, and we'd do a live show there called the live GMV Junior show, where we would bring personalities and appear there. Well, that was a highlight because we met some of the people live then. The appearance of being out there, and you met those people that say, well, we saw you last night, that was a silly thing you did on there, and you got to know that people were watching you, and whatever you did, we weren't allowed to call kids kids. They were boys and girls. I felt I needed the rest from the character, and I went back to country music, where I completed 2 LPs and a single, which I've decided the only way to get known and to sell these records is to go on tour. So I have been touring. I've just arrived back from the Territory about a month ago, and I go up there each year. I've got 6 months' work at the Homestead, which is a tourist resort in the Territory, and I do 6 months there. But Joey has also come back to light because, as you know, Mum and Dad always takes the kids on holidays with them. Yeah. And during the day, Joey the Clown comes out and entertains the children while I appear at night time.
Brian Smith joined GMV in 1964. Still in television, he's a sports presenter with Channel 9 in Melbourne. But Brian received his early training in Shepparton.
I think there was a feeling of teamwork. I think that was the thing that was of paramount importance. I was only in my very early 20s then, and you had that teamwork, whereas you'd have everyone chipping in to get either a product to air, be it commercial or a show. And I think that was it. I can remember doing the GMV Juniors on odd occasions, and you'd be painting the set that morning just to get the show ready 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and no one ever said, that's not my job. And I think that was the thing that stands out in my memory. I think everything was a challenge. Well, I think, talking about the city stations particularly, I think everyone's become so slick, so professional. There's no room really for improvisation, which you did a lot in the country. I think the grounding I got at GMV enabled me over the years, wherever I've worked, whether it be Griffith, Canberra, or at GMV6, at GDV9 rather, to handle any situation. I think it gave you an all-round good grounding.
I have with me today Mr. Critchley, who is chairman of the Australian Apple and Pear Board, and Mr. Molteno, who is vice chairman of the Deciduous Fruit Board of South Africa. Mr. Critchley, I wonder, could you tell us the purpose of you gentlemen meeting?
Yes. South Africa, New Zealand and Australia are the 3 most important producers and exporters of apples and pears in the Southern Hemisphere.
When I was at GMV, you had the community involvement. And when I first came to GTB9 in 1970 from Canberra, you had community involvement there. I think you've got a slick product now. I think networking is the way it's going. You don't have the opportunity to be as close to the public as you were in those days because you're speaking to so many people.
Channel 6 commenced, so too did the production of many Australian television programs. Until that time, imported shows dominated the airwaves, but Australian audiences were hungry for locally produced material, and it wasn't long before those demands were met. The local production soon equalled the imports in quality, and many trend-setting shows resulted, leading to bigger and better things in the years to follow. Enjoy now excerpts from some of the better-known programs seen on Channel 6 during the years.
I think I'll just take an air sample, sir. Oh, traces of hydrogen. And oxygen. And dead prawn shells. Oh, sir. Come on, man. Sir, I think something is going on. Something funny is going on. Or coming off here. Oh, sir, I have found traces of wildlife.
Fred, it's Brian Beery.
Hands up. I am Dr. Spock.
Listen, I never touched a doc.
Hey, listen, Dawn, how long have I been coming in here now?
Oh, I reckon about 18 months, Ocker. Remember you first came in here with Jack?
Yeah. Oh, there she goes, eh? Yeah, good old Jack, eh? You know, as old Jack would have put it, never ever, in my whole life ever, have I ever found it so easy to face my missus since first having a drink with you first, ever. How you putting business as usual?
No, well, much against me wishes, I'm going to spend it with me sister and a twit of a boyfriend. Well, here he comes now. Listen, I'm going to disappear, Rocker. You offer him some of my bubbly, and he's stupid enough to think it's French champagne.
Yeah, right, Ella. Good day, mate. Oh, bonjour, no, I don't believe I've had the pleasure of making your acquaintance prior to this in a memento. No, we've never met before, mate, but Dorney's told me all about you. The name's Ocker. You're Hugo, aren't you? 100% correct, Mr. Ocker. Hugo William Randolph Smythe Joe. Yeah? A name for each of your heads, eh? You'd be a bit of a pom, wouldn't you? No, but it is a common fallacy. I'm proud to announce that I am an 8th-generation Australian. That'll make you one of the Arunta mob, wouldn't it? Only on my mother's side. She's got a Gippsland Aruntas. If I thought I looked anything like that galah, I'd shoot my bloody self. Could be something your old man brought home. You never know where he gets to these days.
Come on. Yeah, what do you think Dad'd bring home with him that'd make you sneeze?
Quiet, you mongrel. Quiet. Do you want to have a small thrown out? I wonder what's up with no names follow my eyes today.
He might just be tired this morning.
Yeah, he might be. It's very unusual, though. He's generally bumping and thumping all over the ceiling by this time.
Now I come to think of it, I didn't hear him come in last night, did you?
I got home at 11:30. He wasn't home then.
Makes you so sure.
I opened a can of beer.
You don't think he mightn't have not come in at all last night?
Not him. He's got the instincts of a homing pigeon.
Getting away from it, old people can be a worry.
Yeah, especially old people like him. Oh.
I'm pretty good, love. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right, love.
That's very good. Hey, tell me, how did Bert enjoy Father's Day?
Oh, he had a wonderful time. Everybody making a fuss.
Oh, that's good.
And I must thank you for sending him such a nice little present for Father's Day.
Oh, well, I always looked on your Bert as a father, love. Tell me, how did he like those Chinese back scratches I gave him?
Chinese? Oh, I've been making him eat his salad with them.
The scene was in the jailhouse, and when curfew rang that night, Nell's dad in number 13 cell would go out like a light. She knew her dad was innocent, did plucky little Nell, so she tied her tender torso to the clapper on the bell.
Who are you? I'm Slippery Sal.
You look a bit crazy.
Come on, let's...
No, get out of that bed. No, I'm shy.
You're shy, come on.
I'm ticklish.
You're what?
I'm ticklish.
Well, I'll tickle you somewhere else in a minute.
Promise?
Get out of the bed.
No, I can't. I'm shy. I'm all out.
Get down to the bed.
Yeah, but I'm going to... You know how this when you go to
Never
bed.
mind.
I'll get everything together.
When you get out of the bed.
Yeah, I'm out.
Who wants to look at a thing like you? I've seen...
Homicide, Senior Detective Mackay. Where? Right. We're on our way. Policeman's been shot. Name of Alan Moss.
Hell.
Disturbed a bloke trying to get into a car.
I'll ring the inspector. When was it?
About 10.
How bad is he?
Well, it's a stomach wound and he's bad. But so far he's conscious, so he'll be able to give us a description.
Which?
Who is?
Never mind.
I live down on tea.
Bloody Grace Faulkner. Mrs. Denny Burke knocks off a packet of crisps at the supermarket and Her Highness expects us to go tearing round there, sirens at full blast.
So you told her it wasn't on.
But does that stop her? Not Grace Miriam Faulkner.
Who's she? Don't tell me you haven't met old Grace yet.
Well, this may surprise you, but after one whole week, there's still a couple of characters I haven't caught up with.
Well, you better get ready, mate. You've got nothing like her in Melbourne.
Could you work it out?
Oh, Paul. I didn't know you were back tonight.
I wasn't. Now, what was all that about?
What do you mean?
You missed an entrance.
Yeah, well, I had a spot of trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Well,
Makes it hard to predict the future of television and where it's heading in the years ahead. In just 25 years, Channel 6 has gone from bringing the national news from Melbourne a day late by rail to having instant access to the world via satellite. Channel 6 is literally now tapped into the world to bring that exciting and challenging global horizon to every corner of our viewing area. A quarter of a century down the track, how does Peter Toomey see the future of the electronic media?
Having completed 25 years of local service, regional television is about to enter a new era with the addition of more stations under the government's regional equalisation plan. Some changes are inevitable in the future with the introduction of new technologies, which we have of satellite relay and optical fibre distribution. It is to be hoped that future changes will not be at the expense of local service and local employment. GMV over the last 25 years has provided an immense service to local viewers and to local advertisers. And it should be remembered that commercial television depends on revenue from advertisers whose product are marketed in the area. It's the local consumers' support in purchasing those products that makes commercial television possible. Our company is owned by over 2,500 shareholders, many of whom are residents of the GMV viewing area. We should be thanking these people for their initiative and foresight in investing in our company, which is now celebrating 25 years of television service to the Golden Valley and surrounding areas. Congratulations to GMV.
Since the beginning, the early years we were learning.
And all this time, together knowing we've shared a lot of living.
changes as we look back over 25 years. We've made many friends, seen many faces, and there were times when we just laughed until we cried. We've come so far, we've shared the tears and the laughter. We were so young, but we were growing up together, and that's what really mattered. Now we're getting stronger every day. So much history, so much going on around us. We've seen it right before our eyes, and all our yesterdays give us courage for tomorrow. Now we can set our sights so high. We've come so far, we've shared the tears and the laughter. We were so young, but we were growing up together, and that's what really mattered. Now we're getting stronger every day. We're looking to the future, we're gonna shine so bright. We're looking to the future, and we're celebrating. We're looking to the future, we're gonna shine so bright. We're looking to the future, GMV Channel 6.